News guys. Hank goes to the mall in Camden, New Jersey, Cherry Mall, and he goes, listen, the cops say there's going to be a big problem here in Camden. No, there's not going to be a problem. I promise you. Guarantee it. These kids are great kids. Day after, and he said, I promise you, no problem. Day after Christmas, 1,000 black people rampaging through the mall, destroying property, defying police, fighting people, all on video.
I'm going to make a corporate decision. I'm going to make a suggestion that I think would work out. We have gravely made an error in mixing of guests today.
I don't
Colin,
think so
wait,
at all.
no, Ronnie. Colin, would you be okay coming back at a later date?
Of course.
Very good.
Colin, sit down for 1 second. I just want one thing, me and you. How would you solve this? Colin takes over. How are you going to solve this problem?
Let me ask you a question.
No, I'm going to ask
Okay, I'll answer the question with a question. If Anthony were outside standing in the rain, how would you solve that problem?
I would bring him inside.
I'd tell them to get the hell out of the rain. So if black people are going around committing an unbelievable level of violence wildly out of proportion, why isn't the simplest solution the best? If you clonk somebody on the head, why aren't you going to jail? But yet we hear on I document how we hear, like in Philadelphia, they say black people are relentless victims of relentless white racism. So they're not putting black people in jail for this anymore.
Have you been to any jails? It's filled with black people.
Why?
But for the reason you said, there are black people in jails.
Why is that?
What
There's only two reasons. One, they're there because of white racism.
Right.
Or two, they're there because they got caught committing some very nasty crimes. It's hard to go to jail. You know that.
No, not really. People
yeah.
go to jail all the time.
Very hard to go to jail.
What you're saying is we need to put all the black people in jail.
No, just the ones who commit crime.
I think everybody's on the same side there. Anybody who commits a crime goes to jail.
For the context of this, I could explain it to you, but me explaining to you this context may be completely worthless. All I'll say is that the reason why I even thought to look at this video is because someone had mentioned that Joe Rogan is a super racist, mega racist, for the reason being that he had Anthony Cumia on his show like a year ago, and that made me really remember that Anthony Cumia existed. And then that made me unfortunately remember this clip where a white supremacist went on his show, talked about how black people are the devil, and pretty much derailed the entire episode and made it about like how black people are ruining in America, and like any joke that was said, he got triggered and got mad. But one thing that I saw while watching this is that it really like boggled my mind how hateful this individual spoke about black people, specifically people who are quote-unquote encroaching on white America, encroaching on white towns, going into these areas. And just for context, a lot of this ideology, a lot of this kind of shared resentment towards black people, a lot of it stems from the kind of it's a pseudo strawman argument. The reason why I say it's a pseudo strawman argument is because it is a fact that black people commit crimes, believe it or not. As you can see here, African Americans account for 55% of crimes from 2020. Now, when they say African Americans, I'm wondering if they're saying just African Americans in general. So, like, is there white people mixed in there? Is it like, is Elon Musk is South African? Is he part of that statistic? I don't know for sure. But for the sake of racism, let's just go with black people. Why not lump them all in there? And a lot of times people will see this and they'll use this as a tool mechanism to say that black people are demons, black people are terrible, and goddamn, why do we have them moving in our neighborhood? And I think that I've seen this meme a lot. Like, I've seen this meme so many fucking times where basically people say that black people are 13% of the population but make up for 50% of the crime. And, you know, there's a lot of different things you could look at with this that a lot of people may or may not focus on. But I think one thing that is specific to this ideology, to this using this information, it's not so much that the information exists, because a lot of times, like, some like neo alt-right dudes will drop that and be like, yo, I know this is going to blow your worldview. I'm about to blow this whole thing open, but, yo, black people be committing crimes, a lot of crimes, and then that's, like, supposed to make, like, anyone who isn't part of the fucking Proud Boy Army, like, their mind explodes and like, what? What the fuck? So, for me, I want to focus on this specific piece of using this information in a hateful way. Because you can say things that are wrong with America, right? There's a lot of things that are wrong with America. You know, for one, we have a corpse who is the president right now fucking up my gas prices. That's one issue, right? We can go with that. But At no point in time am I going to say, like, if only we could get rid of old people. Like, why do we have old people around? Old people fucking up the economy. Old people ruining Wall Street. You know what? Actually, I might actually make that argument. Bad example. But for going back to black people, or not even black people, it's this weird fascination, weird obsession with the idea, to steal a bar from JonTron, that black people are predisposed to violence. Black people are, encroaching on white America. Black people are coming into your neighborhoods. They're going to be there. Whenever you turn the corner, Trayvon's going to be there with the Skittles. You better have the burner ready, or else you're going to have to fucking fight for your life. It's like, dude, I don't understand how people can see information like this and immediately flip it towards, like, my world is being destroyed by black people. Like, I don't understand how you somehow, some way, just put it all on that. Like, obviously, there are black people who commit crimes. There are white people who commit crimes. There may be more black people that commit crimes, but a lot of times, whenever you bring up this, I'm gonna bring up this word, don't get triggered, context, it bothers people. Like, if you just look at the fact that 55% of crime is done by African Americans, how much of this is in line with poverty? How much of this is in line with bad neighborhoods? How much of this is in line with other circumstances? Now, that's not to justify it. There's no really reason to justify it, as it's an issue. And that's the thing. When people bring this up, they don't say it's an issue. Let's help. That, like, I've never ever heard this brought up. Like, even with this dude, he brings up, he's like, dude, black people ruin our neighborhoods. Black people running in. And it's like, you never hear a solution. You never hear, black people, man, they just going crazy, man. We need more, like, community outreach programs. We need more funding for this. We need police stationed here. We need people to explain, like, the most you'll hear is, like, we need more police. Like, we just need more police. We need to, like, lock down. We need to pull this back into Reagan's America. But there's never any solution. It's just that, black people be causing problems. I hate that they're causing problems. And I offer no solutions or not even a smidgen of positivity to say that hopefully it gets better, so it gets better for everyone. Because a lot of times, this is going to sound crazy, but a lot of times people segregate themselves so much so that they don't realize that what's affecting others affects them. Like, for example, back in ye old day, I don't want to bring this up because, a lot of times whenever you say that something wrong happened to black people, all of a sudden you're a sympathizer. All of a sudden just mentioning the fact that something bad happened to black people means that you're trying to condone everything they do now. The fact that black people were, subject to Jim Crow means that now you can't say anything about it. Otherwise you're defending them. Because, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to defend fellow Americans? But it's crazy. Like, back in the day, there's something called Black Wall Street, right? It was a Wall Street for black Americans that was successful. They had a lot of money, and it helped the local economy, and it helped them basically grow as individuals, as well as the community around it. Now, obviously, white people saw that and said, these people wild, and let's drop bombs on them and burn down Black Wall Street. And I always like heard that, and I always was like, damn, that's like crazy, like how racist that is. Damn, that's crazy how, like, fellow Americans did this. It's crazy how, hate can do that. And what's also crazy is that a lot of times people don't realize, like, how much we are part of each other, because they literally nuked Black Wall Street and destroyed part of their local economy. It's the same thing with this, where it's like, it's not so much solving the problem as much as removing it, cutting it out, getting rid of it. And it's always in this context of those people, them people be causing problems. And what's crazy to me is, like, even on the discussion of, like, the biggest thing in the past couple of years has always been policing. The idea that police will do certain things to certain groups of people, or people in general. And a lot of times, like, there's like a weird defensiveness where, like, you bring it up, they're like, oh man, why are you simping? Why are you simping for police? Why are you simping for black people? Like, there's always, like, some weird thing where the segregation occurs, where, like, people will choose a side, and choosing just one side will hurt you. If I choose a side of, I only care about citizens, I don't want police to be there, I want police to not exist. If police don't exist, there is no police shootings. Now, all of a sudden, my rims are gone again. By the way, I don't have big rims. They are Toyota fucking rims. And yes, motherfuckers steal them. That ain't good, right? I don't want to ride around with the hubcap. I'm going to get no hose with that. I mean, I'm not going to get any hose, period. But now I'm going to get even less hose. I'm getting negative hose, right? The other side of the argument, which is to say that police need to, have, like, fucking lightsabers and have motherfucking, like, RPGs and, like, just be fucking stopping and frisking every motherfucker. And it's like, no, you want to find a happy balance. And the idea is that to help. The idea is to be positive. But whenever I see shit like this, it's always so infuriating. It's always so disgusting because it's always they, us, they, us. It's always this like disgusting thing where people don't care about other people, and people just want to use it as a strawman argument to build themselves on top of, and be like, yo, black people, obviously, them motherfuckers be wildin', and if we just got rid of them, or if we did some like crazy fucking super strict shit, or and the thing is, like, what this person just said was, I think that black people that commit crime should go to jail. It's like, yeah, okay, what the fuck, what's the problem? Like, what the fuck are you even talking about? Like, this is the thing, like, people talk about in such crazy generics, like you're talking about gigantic statistics, right? Where this is for America, right? This is for all of America from 2019. What are you even going to do with this data? Like, how are you even going to address this without any context? Is all this happening in like New York? Is this happening in Democrat-run cities? Is this happening in certain states? Like, where's the solution? Like, there's no attempt at trying to find a solution. There are individuals who subscribe to this ideology. There are people who legitimately think that majority of black individuals contribute to majority of the crime, and that they themselves are solely responsible. And not only are they solely responsible, but it's some kind of crazy conspiracy where, like, they don't want you to know about this shit, keep it on the low, they don't want you to be fucking woke to this shit, and at the same time, they offer no fucking solution. Like, there's literally no solution. And for me, all I have to say is, we are fellow Americans, we are in this together, and I think the most important thing here is, at no point in time should we be talking about statistics, right? Like, this shit, the whole per capita, the whole the whole idea of like the way you need to represent the data, that already hurts my head. So let's just try to help each other, right? Not hurt each other. And to be completely honest with you, if you're going to talk about race, if you're going to talk about these different subjects, at least pretend like you want to come to some type of a constructive conclusion. Because I think a lot of times when I see this, it's just said as a fucking trap card to flip people up. And at no point in time does it really offer anything other than to say that you're an idiot, you don't accept this reality, you're a piece of garbage. And almost always it ends up being just a rabbit hole. Like, it ends up just being a rabbit hole where someone says, LOL, black people commit crime, and then the other person says, well, actually, maybe it's because of their family history, or maybe it's because of American history, and they go, oh, you're just making excuses.
Every year we got to watch a fucking English person doing, you know what I mean? Like in the 1600s or the Middle Ages. We never watch anything about the American Revolution at all.
So like a mainstream feature film.
Yes.
Released in the movie theaters, not like on Nat Geo or something like that.
you.
That
Well
is
observed.
a movie.
So the alternate question is, how many black movies, mainstream black movies,
You
have
get
there
back to
been
that black
in
thing
the
real
last
quick.
3 years?
I mean, yeah, you're right there. Yeah. So you're saying
This is like case A of
Yeah.
denial, deceit, and delusion. I'm
That's
sitting right
me.
next to you. That's you.
But I think
Because
I'm
you don't know
bad.
what you're talking about, but that doesn't stop you from talking. So I'm not one of those guys that sits there and listens to bullshit.
Well, first of all, don't fucking come in here like we're on the same fucking level with this. I was asked to be on his fucking show. I wouldn't be talking about race if it was up to me.
Because you don't know anything what you're talking
What the
about.
fuck would
Then
I
why are
be
you
talking
talking? If
about?
you don't know what you're
Fucking
talking
stay
about,
fucking
if
quiet,
you don't know
because
what you're
Anthony
talking about,
invited-
why say it?
I fucking made a joke because that's why Anthony fucking had me here.
Guess I
But I'm
forgot
not-
to laugh.
What's that?
Guess I forgot to laugh.
I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm not fucking here to fucking be angry all the time. I'm telling Ant to go back to the way he used to be.
At the end of every single video, make sure you ask people to rate and subscribe to your content. It makes them feel like they're involved even though they're really not. And most importantly, make sure they comment on every single video. If you have to, disguise it. You know, call it something like the question of the day. And really make them think you're gonna really read it when you really don't have to. Ha ha ha!